listen to what he has to say. A couple things, okay, real quick. Make sure you have a pen. Make sure you have a pad of paper. Look, I'm the presenter, and I have my pen and pad of paper with me, okay? I'm ready to go. Make sure you have your water. Don't be getting up in the middle of this because you forgot to fill up, okay? Have your water sitting there. We need your attention for the next 2 hours, okay? Hour and a half, 2 hours. So pay attention and learn something. Last thing I'm going to let everybody know is that as a result of you being here today, everybody who's on here is going to get access to a special report that is free for you guys. But what you have to do is wait till this is over, because you're going to be transferred to a page where access to that report will be available, okay? So it's important that you not only pay attention, but stay here through the duration, okay? Stay here till this thing transfers over to the page where you can access that free downloadable special report on tips for building during the holidays, okay? With that, I'm going to toss it over to Peter. And Peter, why don't you get us started, buddy?
All right, Jerry, thanks a lot. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, guys, make sure you got your pen and paper, and we're going to get moving because we've got 2 hours, and we probably have about 3 hours worth of information here to pack into 2. So, Jerry, give me a heads up. It's like, we got to move. All right, so we're going to jump right into this. This is going to be covering a 3-step system that we have for you guys today on really how you want to build your business success formula, prospecting and collecting decisions, and then creating accountability and growth. We're going to go into talk about the daily, the weekly pod, some of the new stuff that I'm introducing to the system. I call it croc brain selling, dealing with how to talk to the crocodile brain, which is your subconscious. Jerry's got some great stuff around the holidays he mentioned too, because this time of year, it's, I agree with Jerry, it's no time like the present to build your business. So just because the holidays are going on, actually alcohol is very good because you can sell a lot more machines. So we're going to move right along here. Let's get into the next slide here. Step 1, we talked about, remember now, step 1 back here is we're going to do the success formula. So I'm going to go through with you very quickly on what we have been doing, what a lot of people, we have about 30 to 35 pods that are going on across the world now. And our formula, when we first started this, I met up with Jerry a few months ago. I showed him, because really when I came into this project, there wasn't a really good daily method of operation, and there really wasn't a good accountability system. So with that, it's like, we all have to do a couple things when we start in business. Number 1, you need to have good systems in place, okay? I always, my background, quickly, I was in corporate world and small business, but if you're going to, and everybody that Jerry and I, when we speak from the stage, and here too, and I'm sure you'll nod your head yes, is if I were to ask you who wants to be a 7-figure earner, who wants to make $1 million a year in revenue, raise your hand. You probably all go, yep, that's me. I want to do that. So this is not about, guys, and here's the thing. I do not, it doesn't matter where you are, and it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get to 6A. There's plenty of 6As in this organization that have flamed out, that are broke. We are business builders, and so whatever time it takes you to get there doesn't matter. What matters is that you have a business building mind and you work your business consistently week in and week out. If you do that and you follow some of the things that Jerry and I teach you, along with some of the other leaders in the organization here, you are going to have success, because it's all about effort, action, and accountability in any kind of business. This is a business like no other business, and so it's the same kind of thing. So we use the Daily 8, we have an accountability meeting, and we put in effort, and that's our simple formula for success. All right. Now, this is to show you how the Daily 8 works. Now, every week, we have a pod call. It's every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. If you want to get in on that, you can just go ahead and email me at daily8pod@gmail.com. We'll let you know when it is. You can listen to our pod call. We usually have a couple hundred people a week to listen in. We've been doing this the longest. We started this with about 9, it's now 9 people. It was 10, dropped to 9 after about 3 or 4 weeks. We have now sold 117 machines in about 4 months, or $266,000 in commission. So, this thing flat out works. We're not saying this to be boastful. I'm just saying it does work. We have lots of pods that are starting. I was just with my good friends down there in New Zealand, Kelly and Taylor and Gina and those guys. They had their pod meeting this week. They sold 3 machines already in 1 week. So guys, this flat out works. You need to have these systems, these daily methods of operation to run your business and build your business. All right, so we're going to get into, what does this daily 8 thing look like? Now, the daily 8 it's a whole planner, guys. It looks like this. We all have them, and it's a big wire-bound book. It runs for 6 months. It has everything you need. But the heart of the daily 8 system is this scorecard that you see here. You're going to be earning a certain number of points per day. Now, going back to, well, why do we call it the daily 8? Well, we call it the daily 8 because here's the thing: we're not in a job. Okay, we are independent distributors, but more importantly, guys, you are business owners. Okay, so we don't necessarily work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. What we do is we put in effort. So our effort is based on the number of points we're going to achieve every week. Okay, so if you look at that engine, Monday through Sunday, depending on when you want to work, you are going to be going out every day, and you're going to be earning certain points. Making contact is 2 points, calling a prospect is 3, sharing water is 3, doing a demo is 5, signing up a distributor is 8, coaching one of your people is 4. But guys, if you think about this daily 8, it helps you to build your business. It helps keep you on track, like Jerry said, every single day of every single week. But if you think about it, guys, here's the thing. What this does is it gives your team a daily method of operation. Now, I'll be the first one to say, again, you're going to hear me talk about a lot of things, and I'm a contrarian. So when I say things, you're going to go, what? Here's the first thing. There is no such thing as duplication. That's a bunch of garbage. It was created by network marketing people. There is no such thing as duplication. The reason why I say that is there's only education. You have to become a master educator and give your people systems they can use to build their education, their business. Now, here's when you do that, the duplication, if you want to call it that, will result. So what I'm saying here is, everyone, if you are a serious business builder, you're going to get your people the daily 8. You're going to plug them into the weekly pod. You're going to see later on I have a 5-week build value system that uses some of Jerry's tools. But you invest in yourself and your business. This is what you give to all your people. They do the same thing. You teach them how to do this on a daily and weekly basis. That creates the duplication. That creates the explosive growth of your business. So, again, we track these points, and then we'll get at basically how we use these points in our weekly accountability meeting later on in this call, so you can see how this works in what we call weekly cash out, and we hold each other accountable to grow our businesses. All right, now, why is this daily 8 thing important in your business? Well, here's the thing. If you have ever looked at other forms of business development, probably a lot of you have heard of Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. In that book, he talks about some of the key habits. One is you have to begin with the end in mind. You have to synergize. You have to work towards win-win joint venture relationships. You are applying all these skills in what he's teaching. And if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend that you do, in our daily method of operation. The other thing over there, you see McDonald's and Starbucks. Well, you might be thinking, well, why does Peter have this on this slide? Well, here's the thing. Every business has to have a daily method of operation. Now, while I would not really eat McDonald's food, I highly respect their business, because what they do, guys, is, if you think about McDonald's fries, which we probably all love, we have them every once in a while, the thing about it is this. They have it defined from the soil pH to the soil temperature to the growing nutrients to the amount of growth cycle for that potato, to the harvest time, to the temperature time in the truck, to the delivery length to a logistical center, to the processing of that potato. All of those processes, to the delivery out to the McDonald's restaurants, to the frying, the salting, and the delivery to your mouth. Okay? So front to back, guys, they have defined a process. Now, there's another great book, if you like reading books, and I read a lot of books, that Michael Gerber called The E-Myth is another really good book. I suggest you read that too. He talks all about the process-oriented systems. Starbucks is the same way. I have traveled all over the world, and no matter where you go, when you walk into a Starbucks, you feel like it's home. Okay? Now, the thing is, they have created in a sensory experience, from smells to sights to sounds. Whenever you walk in, you know you're in a Starbucks. And guys, think about it. You're paying almost $2 and to buy brown water. Okay? You're not, that's what you're not buying really the coffee. You're buying the process and the experience. Okay? So if you start to make these connections, this is why it's important to us as an magic distributor, is because we have to have those processes.
We have to create that experience so that people know Kangen Water and they know Enagic as a company, and we represent that corporation. Okay, so I hope you're understanding why this is important. So that's our step one. That's our daily method of operation using the Daily 8. Now, that is like in a house, that's kind of like your foundation. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start doing our framing up to our roof, okay? So step 2 now is going to be in prospecting, okay? This is, now I have my way to track how I'm going to build my business, how I'm going to keep track of my business. And by the way, the Daily has prospecting things in there. It has keeping track of your sales. It has the mileage log. It's got everything. But now you want to go out and you want to find people, and you have to understand, how do you speak to them? Okay, and how do you get them interested in the business? All right, so first and foremost, if I were to ask you a question, what is your most important job in direct sales? And I ask this to a lot of distributors. A lot of people, when we do our seminars, they say, well, it's prospecting, or it's training my people, or it's coaching, or it is duplication. You know, I get a lot of different things. Now, I'm not saying that those are not important, but your most important jobs are these two things. Number 1, finding the right type of people, and number 2, collecting decisions. Guys, if you get this down, you are a decision collector, okay? And the decision you collect is, are you an end user? Do you want to buy this for your own home use? Or are you a business builder? Or are you not interested at all? Well, we have to move through the system and collect decisions, and we have to find the right people. Now, I'm not saying, here's the thing, you're going to find people who are sick. You're going to find people who need to get healthy, and the water can be that particular vehicle for them, possibly. However, as you know, not everyone is going to be a business builder. You have to find certain business builders that want to help you build your business. And again, guys, you want to do this on a week in, week out basis, but it doesn't take a lot of business builders to dramatically grow your business. You know, you probably heard the story before. Guy I know, Jordan Adler, who's in one of the network marketing companies, he has north of 1 million people below him. When I ask him, hey, Jordan, you know, how do you keep track of all these people, and how have you created an environment where you can get business growth? And he said, Peter, he said, 95% of my income comes from 5 people that I recruited into the organization. And that was after he was in for about 7 or 8 years, okay? So again, it's about finding the right type of people, and it's about collecting decisions and moving on, okay? Don't be a prospect clawer where, I have 5 prospects and I'm, waiting for them to say yes or no. When people come to me and tell me that, I say, get the yes or no, stop the water, force a decision, and you know what, go find 10 more people. That's your problem, is you don't have enough people in your pipeline. You need to get more people, okay? So the problem is you, not them, all right? So next we look at is this whole thing on follow-up. So we talked about, finding the right type of people. If you do a good job at targeting certain type of people, and this could be an end user that has a sickness or a disease, or it could be a business builder. But the thing is, this whole adage, there's all these adages that have been created that a lot of them are a bunch of hogwash, you guys. This whole thing, fortune in the follow-up, I mean, for the most part, yes, there's going to be exceptions to the rule, but for the general majority, the fortune in the follow-up is wrong, okay? This whole thing of 80% of the sales are made on the 5th, 12th, I mean, you know what? It's like, I don't have the energy nor the time. I'm too lazy. I'm going to go find people that actually want to do this business and do it rather quickly, and I don't want to have to necessarily follow up on 100 people 5th, 12th, 20th time. Because guess what? I'm going to be spending all my time following up and not going out and meet people and bringing new fish in the barrel, okay? So you got to keep that in mind, is we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to laser target your prospects, but you want to do that with a certain approach, okay? So what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is in any business, and I did this before in my other small businesses, it's no different here in Kangen Water and in Enagic, is you need to actually write down an ideal prospect statement, okay? And these ideal prospect statements, and Jerry, I want you to jump in, because when we were at the seminar in Torrance, after I bring this up, you had talked about, how to do some of the different ones. We'll have you jump here in just a second. So the ideal prospect statement, guys, is this, is the whole understanding that you will not have crystal clarity unless you write something down. It goes with goals. It goes with what you want to achievements. It goes with intentions. It goes with anything. If you don't write it down, it ain't going to happen. So we want to write down our ideal prospect statement. So I'm going to give you a formula here. This ideal prospect formula goes like this. For a particular type of person or category you're going after, it has to have the physical description of that prospect. What they want, what their problem is, how they buy, and the best way to communicate with them. Okay, so again, we'll go through that again. The ideal prospect formula is this: the physical description of that prospect. Okay, so who are they? It could be pregnant mothers. It could be people with acid reflux. Okay, what is it they want? Okay, well, maybe a pregnant mother wants a healthy baby. Okay, so again, the whole idea of health and what we can do with our product comes into play there. Their problem. Okay, now we're going over to acid reflux. Their problem is they don't want to have acid reflux. They don't want to take medication. How they buy. Okay, how do they buy? Where do they go? The best way to communicate with them. That could be face-to-face, email, text, direct mail. There's lots of different ways that you can communicate with people, but that would define your ideal prospect. So I'm going to give you just an example, and then I'm going to have Jerry jump in and give you some other ideas on ideal prospects. This one here, I'm just going to read this slowly. This is an example of one particular ideal prospect. This is a prospect I go after because I come from the small business realm. I want to look for small business people that are business builders. Okay, so here goes. Our ideal prospect is an entrepreneur located in the Inland Empire area. That's where I live. So I'm not going to go out to Jerry's area because I don't want to drive 50 miles and deliver water. Okay, number one, too much time, too lazy. I got plenty of small business people right in Upland, Rancho Cucamonga, Claremont, San Dimas, Laverne. That's where I live, so that's where I'm going. Okay. They are actively looking for a business or an additional stream of income, and ideally they have been a business owner before or are in business. Okay, so they understand what it is to be in business. Okay, and all business people, if they're true business people and not hobbyists, when you come to them and say, hey, are you married to your particular business? You keep your income options open. Are you open to maybe earning another stream of income? I haven't met a business owner that goes, no, sorry, I don't want to make any more money. I'm making all the money I could ever want to make in my small business. I mean, that's a bunch of horse pucky. They're not telling you the truth. So all business people, they want to earn additional streams of income. I mean, I was talking to Lars here before we got on this thing, and I mean, he runs 4 businesses, and they're growing and doing their thing here at Enagic. But they understand that, here's the thing. If you are an investor in the stock market, you're not going to put all your investments in tech stocks. What if they go down? Okay, you have to have a diversified portfolio. Do you get this? Okay, so they feel stuck in their job, business, or in transition, and they feel they can't get ahead financially. Okay, now guys, just to prove my point, do you know that 70% of American citizens have $30,000 or less saved for retirement? 70% of America. So if you don't think you have opportunity out there to talk to people about having a part-time business that can build income for retirement where they're going to listen, you got to be crazy. Because in America, we got this huge problem. You think the health problem is Obamacare is a big deal? You just wait. 65 people 65 and older, 10,000 people a day are turning 65 now for the next 19 years. We've got a massive issue which Social Security is not going to take care of. You've got a lot of people willing to listen, okay? So, last part is they could also be worrying about not having enough money for retirement. Just talked about that. The best way to reach these prospects is locally through networking and small direct mail. So this is an example of one ideal prospect that I go at. So Jerry, I want you to jump in. Now I'm going to mute myself, and you can give them some ideas of some other ones that you've come up with.
All right, Peter, thanks a lot. When Peter and I were doing this live training over at Enagic, one of the things that I talk to everybody about is when you're creating your ideal prospect, statement, what you have to understand is you're customizing this to yourself, okay? You're customizing this to your interests, to your hot buttons, your passions, because if you do that, you're going to attract the type of people that you're going to want to be doing business with anyway. I used a great example while we were up in Enagic is John Swardstrom. For anybody who knows it, John looks like a Viking. You know, he's this huge guy, and he's super athletic, and he snorkels, and he's like traveling all over the world. And so I used John as an example. I said, you know, John, when you're coming up with your statement, you know, part of it should be that you're looking for people that are extremely active, that enjoy traveling, you know, that have diversified interest. I said, because if that's what you're looking for, when you find them, it's relatable to you. It's something that you guys have something in common, and that common bond. We've heard that expression before, a common bond. Well, it's the bond part that's important, because that commonality between people is what gets them together and holds them together. And let me tell you something, if you're going to develop a business, wouldn't it make sense to develop one with people you have like interest with, that you do have commonality, that you do have a bond with, a bond that can be created? Because to me, that's going to strengthen your business and the foundation that you're going to build your business on. So make sure that you're customizing that ideal prospect statement to really reflect your interests and what you're looking for. And you know what? There can be several different ones. You know, let's say that you're super athletic, but you also like to cook. Well, if you try to narrow it down to say, I'm going to look for super athletic people who like to cook, you might be narrowing your field a little bit too much. So instead, you diversify that prospect statement and actually create two. And you're looking for people who are athletic, that share these traits, but you're also looking for people that maybe enjoy the aspect of cooking and would share these traits. So you can have numerous ideal prospect statements, because let's be realistic, folks, we're not just looking for one type of prospect. We're looking for, you know, different types, but you need to identify what your ultimate one would be, okay? So that's why that's important to create that statement, have it reflect your interests, and you know, that way it can be, you know, something that I think it's going to make it a lot easier for you to seek out, because once you identify what you're looking for, it's funny how easy it is to find it. It's when you don't identify what you're looking for, kind of hard to find it. Now I'm going to toss it back over to Peter, but before I do, I wanted to mention something, okay? We have a lot of people on here, and I know that some of the people are like Lars Jacobson right now, that have a group of people in the room watching this. As a matter of fact, if you look over Peter's right-hand shoulder, it's probably actually his left, you can see the monitor that they're showing everybody in the room, okay? The reason I make this to you, I'm saying something about this, is that with this system, if you've got people that are in the room watching this, if you want to enlarge the PowerPoint slides so it's more viewable for everybody in the room, right above the PowerPoint on your screen, there's a thing that says maximize. And if you click that, it's going to fill the entire screen with just the PowerPoint. Peter and I will disappear. We'll still be able to hear us and everything. And I know we're pretty to look at, but the information that's on those slides might be a little bit more important. So just for the people that if you are in a room with multiple people, and I know that some of the people are, because you guys have told me you've got groups watching this, if you want to do that, go ahead, just click that maximize button on the right hand side, right above the PowerPoint, and it will largen that up so everybody in the room can see it. Okay. All right. With that, I'm going to throw it back to Peter. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Jerry. I appreciate that. You know, the only thing to add, to what Jerry said, and he's right on the money with this thing, is I look at these things. My lingo is I call them vertical segments. So you guys have heard me talk about salons. That's another ideal prospect. If you're going to go into gyms, ideal prospect. Restaurants, ideal prospect. People who ride. I'm working with a guy we just sold a machine to. He has got a bicycle group. And he actually sponsors professional bike racers, but he's in a big, huge biking group. So again, I define who am I looking for in that bicycle enthusiast type area. Okay, so that's what you got to do, and you write these out, because I tell you what, guys, by writing things down, putting the attention out there, it's amazing how this stuff like this kind of pops up out of nowhere. If you, again, Another book I'd suggest you read is Think and Grow Rich, one of the best books of all time. You put the intention out there, those people are going to show up. So read that book. That'll give you some skills on how to do that one. All right, now, here's the thing. We talked about now you're going to, find the right people, collect decisions. But now step number 2 is you got to learn how to strike interest. Now, in prospecting, it's a really kind of a simple 3-step system. Let me go back here for a second. So a 3-step system. You are going to, step 1, strike interest with people. What I mean by that is, are they interested in getting more information and getting on the water? Step number 2 is they're going to view the information, go to a demo. Step number 3, they're going to make a decision. You're going to collect the decision. It's a 3-step process. Now think about that. Of step 1, step 2, step 3, which ones do you have control over? Step 1, that's it. You cannot control if they're going to actually come to a demo, if they're going to look at your information, and you cannot control if they're going to buy a machine. Okay? You can do things like build value, get them to a demo, educate them, but ultimately, I do not have a magical crocodile brain crystal ball that can make people buy machines, because if I did, I'd sell it to you guys for like $10 million a piece. All right? So that doesn't exist. The only thing you can do is be good at Jerry's going. Yeah, Jerry. So, but the only thing you can do is you can strike interest. You can get people interested, and there are ways to do that. We're going to talk about that right now. Okay? So that takes a lot of pressure off you, because if you think you have to cover all 3 gambits, it's not going to happen. So your focus is getting people interested, then collecting the decision, which they're going to make anyway on their own. You're just going to make sure that you're walking them through to ask, okay? Now, in the world of what we do, there's 4 types of people. There's people we know, that's your warm market list. There's people we meet through our sales groups, and our sales groups are our people that are working with us on our team, okay? So you're going to be helping your people, your sales group people. Again, guys, we don't use downline. We don't use network marketing. We're not network marketing. We're in sales. We're in direct sales. And actually, we're in sharing and striking interest and dealing with the subconscious brain. It makes it so much easier because you don't have to deal with all this sales hoopty-doopty stuff out there that they try to teach you about. Oh, we'll do this particular objection close and this particular. That's a bunch of garbage. And I'm telling you, any people who do that are rookie salespeople. I have to laugh at them when I hear this kind of stuff, because it's like, you know what? If you really want to understand it, you got to understand how to speak to people and speak to their subconscious mind, because that's where it's at. I'm going to explain to you why that's important in a moment. So third is people we just met. So networking groups, grocery store, gas station, next to a porta potty. I don't really care. I can be anywhere you go. All right, and then people through social media and internet, because here's the thing. And I'm going to show you down the road. We get into this crocodile brain selling and the membership site and things coming up first quarter. We're going to show you basically how to talk to people on Facebook, LinkedIn to actually get interest, so they will call you on the phone. You don't have to chase them. They will call you. I mean, how many of you guys would like to have that happen? Given the fact that there's, me too. Given the fact that, and I'm going to teach you how to do this, the fact that there's, 1.6 billion people on Facebook, that's a pretty good fish pond to pull from, all right? So, now, you guys probably have heard the Pareto principle. Pareto was a dude way back when that came up with this thing. It has to do with the 80-20 rule. And a lot of you guys probably have been told the 80-20 rule that, 20% of the people produced 80% of the results. Well, I'm here to tell you that's wrong too, okay? Because you can, under the Pareto principle, okay, just suspend now. I want you to read this and suspend your belief system for just a second. Okay? What if you could flip the Pareto principle around and get a minimum of 80% or more people to say yes to look at your information and share water? What if you could do that? Instead of 20%, what if you could have 8, 9, or 10 out of 10 people say, yeah, I'd like to take a look at what you have to offer. So if all you guys are shaking your head out there in worldwide land, which I've seen a lot of people here in Lars' office are doing the same thing, I'm going to give you an insight as to a little taste of what you can do now and how to flip this around. Because if you would dramatically want to grow your business, if you could get 80% strike interest in 80% or more of the people, that would massively grow your business. Okay? So, First off is we're going to talk about, we're going to have a little lesson about the brain and talk about the sales filter. Okay, you guys all have it. We all have our sales filter, and you know it to be true because if you don't believe me, if you ever had someone come up to your door, knock on your door, and try to share something with you, whether it's religious or sales, what immediately happens? It's like, get back. I don't want you in my house, right? The sales filter goes up. There's a lot of alarm bells. Now, what's happening here is this, okay? I'm just going to give you a simple lesson. We're going to get into this a lot more so you truly understand because, see, most of you guys out there are speaking to the wrong part of the brain, okay? Up here at the front, this part here is called your neocortex, okay? This is where your logic, decision, data analysis, this is what most of you are all speaking to, okay? You see down there in that diagram, which is back here, in the back, the base of your brain, that's your old brain. We've been around about 100,000 years from the cave people, right? And the old brain is your crocodile brain. Why it's called the crocodile brain? Because it's very similar to a crocodile brain, okay? We have a crocodile brain and is directly connected to our subconscious. Now, here is why this is very important, guys. Every time I'm speaking to you and I'm putting out information, okay, in your brain, if you look at your brain, it's like a neural network, okay, and it has all these little neurons that connect to each other, and between them, there's dendrites and these synapses. The synapses are just electrical firing, which is what creates thoughts and memories and creates pictures in your mind, okay? Now, the neocortex, when I'm speaking to you, or Jerry's speaking to you, or you're listening to anybody, when we're talking to you, your neocortex is firing off about 2,000 synapses per second. Your croc brain is firing off 400 billion. So I don't know about you, by number's sake alone, which would you rather talk to, the neocortex or the croc brain? The croc brain tied to the subconscious works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never stops, okay? And in fact, guys, if you do a lot of data research, and I've done brain research for years because I'm very interested in it as it relates to sales and marketing to grow businesses, okay? And this is a business like any other business, okay? When we are taking in information around our physical world, we take it in with what? Sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch. We have five senses, right? So what we're doing is we take in about 11 million bits per second in information that our brain is processing, okay? Our neocortex can only process about 40 bits per second. The rest of it is done by our croc brain, okay? And in fact, the croc brain, the subconscious in the croc brain is responsible for all of the actions that keep you alive voluntarily and involuntarily, okay? Your eye blinking, your heart beating, your breathing, your cellular structure, movement, all of the things that go on that keep you alive. If your subconscious and your croc brain were not doing that, you would fall where you stand and die, okay? So again, now let's fast forward this so you have a little bit of data on why this is important. Now let's talk about, well, you're probably wondering, okay, Peter, I get this. This is like really exciting. And you guys, you got to remember, neuroscience has only, I mean, it's been around since the 20s. With Hans Blieger, he started out with the EEG stuff. And I can give you a whole history lesson in this. We'll do this in January. But the thing about it is, the actual advent of neuroscience has only been around about the last 10 years. In 5 years have they made a lot of brain discoveries, okay? So this is not stuff that's, you know, it's pretty frontierish, okay? But what they're finding out is, and what large companies are doing is, they're actually bringing on neuroscientists onto their staff because it has to do with branding and communication and how they speak. And do you know that females, there's a whole book called The Female Brain, females are processing differently in their cortex and in their croc brain than males do. Women that are pregnant are even different. People that age, as you get older, you are processing things differently than people in their 20s. And so again, we're going to teach you about how to speak to people, how to speak to people's croc brain, depending on whether they're male, female, pregnant, not pregnant, what age they are, so that you will have this 8, 9, 10 out of 10 strike interest success. All right. So, question is now, how do you speak to the croc brain? So I'm going to give you a quick lesson today There's going to be much more of this. I just want to give you a taste, and I'm telling you, take what we're putting down here, write it down, and try it out for yourself. I've already had people that have tried some of this stuff, speak to the croc brain, and they've already called me up or sent me emails and said, man, I heard you in Torrance, I went out and did this, and I picked up these many people. And it's like the easiest thing ever. It's like when I always say, shooting fish in a barrel, you know. It's not hard to do once you get the skills down. Go ahead, Jerry.
I just wanted to mention and kind of comment on this, that, you know, one of the fundamental things of the croc brain principle is that what you're really talking about when it comes to people is pleasure and pain. You know, it's instinctive survival mechanisms, fight or flight type of stuff, but it's those like primordial urges and desires and things of that nature. Now, if you think about it, when someone's talking to you, okay, have you ever been talking to somebody and you're on the edge of your seat listening to them? The intensity that they're talking to is drawing you in such a way that you are hooked on every word that they're going to say. Okay, that's speaking to the pleasure sensors of the croc brain. It really is. That's because it's interesting. It's something that you're open to, and so it draws you in. But have you ever had one of those people that it literally is painful to listen to them talk? That all you're thinking, you're going like this, when is this going to be over? In your head. Obviously, you don't say it out loud. But those feelings you're getting, that's the croc brain. The croc brain saying, I'm bored. This is stupid. You're wasting my energy. You're wasting my time. Stop. Okay, that's what's happening. So you want to make sure that, you know, what it really boils down to is pleasure and pain. Now, this is what the human is all about. We seek more pleasure. We seek to reduce pain. Now, think about that with our product. Our product is the core croc brain fix. It's the croc brain solution. Why? Because it fixes pain and it brings pleasure. It's awesome. So I just wanted to throw that in there to make sure everybody really understands, you know, those little nuances of the croc brain. What we're really focusing towards. Okay, we're really focusing towards those things that will get a person to. I said this at the training that we had up in Anajic, that one of the pleasure sensors, especially for males, that happens sometimes as a result of drinking this water, is that sometimes the old libido ain't what it used to be, and the water, once you start drinking it, it's increased the libido for quite a few guys. And that was one of the first things. I know people who have bought the machines and just because of that. They had other benefits too, but that was the piece that they said, that was a deal sealer for me, pal. And again, it's that croc brain looking for that pleasure aspect. And so realize that's what we're talking to, okay? And there are techniques to be able to reach that, so you don't become that person that when they're talking, the person listening is thinking, when will this be done? You want that person to be that edge of the seat listening to what you're saying. Okay? Back to you, Peter.
Awesome, Jerry. I drink for my libido. All right. No, it's very, very true. Now, you know, I want to add a couple things, because what Jerry said is very important, guys. If you see on this slide, see boring, ignore it. Now, here's the thing. In the croc brain, and again, we'll get into all this stuff so you totally understand it and you can master these skills, because once you get some, and I'm not talking about you having to get a college degree in this stuff. There are a few of these things. It's very simple. We call them igniters in the croc brain. There's some different frames, because here's the thing. Frames like laughing, curiosity. I'll tell you what. You test it. If you go in and stumble in and do the Larry Moe and Curly on somebody, and they're laughing their heads off, there's no way their cells filter is going up, because they're cracking up. Okay, you're going right to their croc brain and their limbic system, which, if you notice on that red circle, your limbic system is right above that. But the thing about it is, the croc brain, it only, like Jerry said, fight or flight, it recognizes two things and two things only. Okay, loud noises and motion. That's it. That's all there is. So again, you just have to get past that croc brain to get to the neocortex. So you got to get past that cells filter, and you can't be boring, because the croc brain's going to go, forget it, get out of here. You're making me work too much. I don't want to listen to you. because we are lazy, brainless people. I'm sorry, we just are. Okay, I don't care who you are listening on this. You're coming from your crock brain. We have scientific evidence and neuroscience to back this up now. All right, so let's move forward now. Let's ask, well, now how in the heck do you speak to the crock brain? Okay, there's 3 rules of prospecting. Okay, when you are talking to someone, number one, you want to make it rejection free. Okay, don't put them in a position where they have to reject. And you don't, I'm telling you, all the people sitting out here and all you guys listening, no one wants to be rejected. We hate it. In fact, some people won't go on prospect because they're afraid of being told no. So if I told you there's a system that's rejection free, and you don't have to worry about being rejected, wouldn't that be wonderful? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we love that, man. Okay, number 2, it cannot embarrass or pressure the prospect at all. At all. Okay? We are not about putting sales pressure, because when you do that, the filter goes up, they slam shut, the crock brain's done, you're done. Okay? And number 3, it has to have a high probability of working. In other words, we want to hit that 8, 9, or 10 out of 10 people that say, yep, I'm interested. I'd like to see some information on this. Try the water. Okay? So, I'm going to give you an example in a social situation face-to-face. Now, this can work anywhere. I'm going to give you, this is one of many kinds of things we're going to be teaching you in the Crock Brain Selling membership site. But I'm going to give you one today, just as a little taste. I want you to write this down and go try it out for yourself. If you don't believe me, you prove it to yourself and see how this works, okay? So this is a face-to-face. If I was I go to chamber groups. I go to network with business owners, okay? So that's face-to-face. This is not face-to-group, and I've done this too. You can go to a soccer game, even if your kid doesn't even play it. My kids are grown. But you can go to a soccer game, stand there, strike up a conversation with a mom or dad, and get them interested and want to try the water using these systems and these simple skills we're going to teach you in our membership site, and you'll be gone off the field within about 5 minutes. Be like, hey, great, nice soccer game, see ya. I did my job. All right? That's a face-to-group, though. That's different than face-to-face. This is one-on-one talking to people. All right. So, you ever heard this when you go into a networking event? What do you do and what do you do? Okay, now, the thing about this, when you do that, what happens typically, right? Well, what happens is nothing, okay? Because everyone is trying to sell something to somebody or explain their product to somebody, right? Have you ever done that? You've gone into a networking event, and they ask you, what do you do? And you start puking up all over them about, well, King of Water has 3 properties, alkaline, antioxidant, and microcluster. Let me explain to you all this stuff. And the crock brain's going, you're boring me to death. Stop it. All right. So again, we don't want to do that. We want to strike quick interest. Go ahead, Jerry.
Peter, I just want to make a comment on that specific thing. I just wrote down this note to myself, is that I have heard so many people say this, okay? Distributors that are talking to their prospects, and they specifically say, I gave my prospect all sorts of information, but they just don't seem interested. They don't get it. And what you have to understand is you didn't give it the right way. It's not that they don't get it. See, that if it's presented in the wrong way, person's not going to be receiving it because you're talking to the wrong part of their brain, and the other part of their brain's going, no, I don't think so. So I want everybody who's on here right now to think about people that you've presented information to, friends, family, contacts that you've presented information to, that maybe it was the method by which you presented it that is the reason they didn't show interest. Make a little list of those people when we're done with this and recontact them and try it again with a different approach. Remember this, it's the same information, but you're going to present it to them with a different approach and in a different method. And let's see if it changes the results of their, being receptive to that information, okay? Because I know for a fact there's people on here that have experienced this. So let's see if we can't change that now with people you've already tried it with. You know what didn't work, so let's test this and see maybe if it does, okay? Peter, back to you.
Yeah, that's a great point. Actually, what Jerry brings up, we are going to be, your warm market list that all said no, we're going to teach you some of these skills on how to reapproach them. But we're going to give you one today that you can do. Guys, here's the thing. Like I said early in the talk, and I don't want to, go way off track here. The only difference between you and $1 million is effort, action, and skills. Effort, action, skills. That's it. You don't have to be some genius Donald Trump. In fact, that's all these guys are doing that are multi-billionaires. I'm sorry, it is. You can build a business, effort, action, and if you know the skills, you'll get the results, okay? So let's go back now to this. Okay, so this is what happens, right? What do you do? And then we start, going into this big, long thing. The croc brain shuts down, right? Nothing happens. Yeah, exactly. All right, so what we're doing is, by doing that, we're speaking to the neocortex. You see up there, the neocortex is right up in the front, okay? That is where all of the data and logic is processed, but we have to not speak there. We want to speak to the reptilian, reptilian complex, or the croc brain, okay? So I'm going to show you how not to be an amateur, which is what Jerry was alluding to. You want to be a pro in networking, so it's all about how you speak to these people and how you get past the sales filter, okay? So when you try to sell or explain, really what's happening is these alarm systems, they're alarm bells, and they're going, they're going like, stop, sales filter's going up. Hey, guys, here's the thing. You will know it to be true because I guarantee you, all of you, including me, because I've made these same mistakes, when you're talking to people and you're explaining something to them, you notice their eyes start moving around the room, or they glaze over, or they start getting like really disinterested, and you keep pushing, and you're pushing closer and closer like this, right? And they're like almost backing away because the croc brain is already, like that, like Jerry's doing. The croc brain shut down, and it doesn't want to hear anymore what you have to say.
Real quick, the guys too.
Okay.
As soon as the croc brain shuts down,
Go ahead, Jerry.
your neocortex is done. It doesn't matter if you give them the most compelling, the best information that exists in the world.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. Jerry just froze. I think the croc brain got the better of him. He says, okay, so we're going to keep going here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Jerry will be back in just a second, and then he can keep going. But I just I want to talk about that with the sales filter piece. This is very, very important. So we've got to get past that sales filter. So the big question is, well, how do you do that, okay? So the key thing here is there are 4 steps to getting past that sales filter, okay? Step number 1 is you have to build instant rapport, Now, you guys, I've talked to you already in previous webinars, Jerry and I have talked to you about people will do business with people they know, like, trust, and remember, right? Well, this whole getting to know, there, Jerry's back. Jerry, did you want to keep going?
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. My internet just died. I don't know what happened. So
I told him that your croc brain got the best of you.
My croc brain got the best of me.
All right, go ahead.
I was like, I'm done. I shut down. No, all I wanted to say is that once the croc brain shuts down, it's done. You've lost the person completely. And I don't know what part you heard, but basically what I said is I think a lot of husbands and even a lot of wives will understand this, is that once it gets to the point where it becomes you don't know what they're saying. You don't care what they're saying. You know they're talking. You're pretending to listen so you don't get yourself in more trouble, but you've lost it. And so it doesn't matter if you're presenting the most compelling information in the history of mankind. They don't hear it. So, realize when you've kind of lost it, okay? All right, back to you, Peter. Sorry about that.
And by the way, guys, these skills, this is why I'm teaching you got to be very careful with this, because here's the thing. You guys probably heard that book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. It's very similar. If you want to have a better relationship with your significant other and have a better physical relationship, this stuff works like gold. Okay, so again, we're gonna go, just like the water. All right, so we're gonna go back to this now. we said, okay, so what do you have to do here? Let's back up. We don't want to get too far back. How do you bypass this sales filter? Well, here's what you got to do. First, you got to build rapport. Then you have to arouse curiosity. The reason being is our cave person brain cannot help but be drawn to curiosity. That is a frame. It's one of the major frames in the croc brain. When I talk about frames, there's other ones too that we're going to teach you. But this one is curiosity is one of the most powerful. This goes back to when the guys were out hunting with spears in Africa and they saw movement in the brush and they're looking for food and they're starving to death. It arouses curiosity and they're on the hunt, okay? This is as old as people have been on this earth, okay? So that's number 2. Number 3, you want to strike interest. And number 4, you want to work the ego. The ego is part of your brain that wants to be self-appreciated, that wants to belong, and wants to have some sort of significance in life, okay? Appreciation, community connection, belonging, which, by the way, in the female brain, that's huge, community connection. Social media sites were created for women primarily, okay, from a croc brain standpoint. And then number 3, the ego wants to have some kind of legacy, some kind of something that's bigger than the ego, okay? That's part of your system. So, well, now how do we do this? The first thing is we got to build rapport. So the build rapport formula is like this. If you want to build pretty fast rapport with people, you're going to use a universally accepted fact followed by another universally accepted fact. And when you'll see when I'm going to put one of these together, one of these skill builders, where you can see the frame and the igniter to the croc brain to keep the sales filter down to get that strike interest right away and work the ego. And I'm going to show you all the pieces here with one particular statement I'm going to make here, okay? But you'll see when you do this, you're going to see people, their physical responses are, when you say the universally accepted fact, they're going to go, yep, they're shaking their head. Just watch them, you'll see, because the croc brain, the subconscious is now, it's like a big elephant in the room, and you're pulling the elephant towards you to get that interest, all right? So what I'm going to do for a sales filter bypass is, the example I'm going to give you is we're in a social gathering, okay? So this could be a chamber networking meeting. And what I want to do first is I'm going to go up to somebody, and I'm going to introduce myself, say, hi, I'm Peter Lasowski. And I said, what do you do for a living, okay? Now, I want to take control of the conversation with questions, okay? I don't necessarily want them to come around and ask me yet what I do for a living. Go ahead, Jerry.
Peter, I'm going to ask you to change your scenario a little bit, okay? So instead of it being a network mixer or a network meeting, let's say that you're at a Christmas party at somebody that you know, and there's a group of people, diverse people that you have not met yet. And the person whose Christmas party you're at is not a distributor. You're the only distributor in the entire house, okay? Let's make that the scenario. So take it from there.
Okay, so I'm at a Christmas party, social gathering, nice, relaxed, but truly social, not business. Okay, like Jerry said, and that's a really good one, actually, because we're coming up on all these holiday parties. So you can use this when you're going out drinking and having fun and doing the merriment, all right? Or it could be around the Thanksgiving table with your family, or it could be at your company party if you work a job and you're doing this part-time to build your business. All right, so you first of all say, hey, what do you do for a living? And how long you've been doing it? You want to talk to people, so this could be like at a cocktail party. Just find out what they're doing. So you want to ask questions. So for our question, let's say I ran into Mary Jones, who's an attorney. And I'm at this cocktail party. I don't know her from Adam. I'm the only distributor in the room. And I come up to Mary, and I talk to Mary, and she says, hi, I'm Mary. She says, yeah, I work for a pretty prestigious law firm. Now, Mary lives out here, by me in Upland, and she has to go into L.A. every day to commute. Okay, now that's a long way. So that's with traffic, probably an hour and a half or more each way. Okay, so she's making good money, really good money. But the problem is, her complaint is, it really is hard because I'm stuck driving in traffic, and I'm in my car an hour and a half each way. And I say, well, Mary, so do you have like a family? Are you married? Do you have kids? And she goes, yeah. She goes, I have a husband I really love to death. And she goes, I got a couple little kids. I go, oh, that's really cool. What's their name? So I have Jane, she's 9, and Gregory is 12. And I miss my kids because I'm in the car all the time. I make a great living. problem is I'm always driving in this traffic. So see, we've got something now that Mary holds and treasures. What is it she's treasuring? The family time with her kids and her husband that she's not getting. Even though Mary may be earning $500,000 a year, that's more important than the $500,000 of working at the prestigious law firm. You guys are starting to get this now? Okay? So here's how we're going to hone in now on the crock brain. So the first thing I want to do is I want to build this instant report. And I say, hey, Mary, well, you know how people are stuck in traffic a lot and it's frustrating. And, Mary's going to go, yep, that's a universally accepted fact. That's me. That's me. They know they're missing time with their family. Now, how did I know that? Because I asked her those questions and I found out she has Janie Gregory and a husband, Bill, who loves her very much. Okay? So, you know how people are stuck in traffic a lot and it's frustrating? They know they're missing time with their family. Okay? Those are two universally accepted facts that are, now, think about this. No sales filter. I'm not selling her anything. I'm just relating to her what she treasures, what she holds in treasure. Now I'm going to arouse curiosity. Some people who keep an open mind have learned how to make money in their car while they're sitting in traffic, so eventually they don't have to sit in traffic anymore. About a year. And then I just keep moving on because I don't explain it. Now I've just hit the crock brain, the subconscious, the big elephant. And her subconscious, her elephant's going, what do you mean I can make money in my car? What do you mean I could be out of my job in a year and I could be with my family? See, all this stuff, the synapses, the 400 billion are firing, fire, okay? Going like crazy. Then I say, I want to strike interest. I say, most people, when they hear about this, they kind of get excited or curious, or maybe even both. And then I work the ego. Now remember, ego wants to be appreciated, wants to be connected and belong, wants to have a legacy, pat on the back, right? And I say, but, I hesitate. See, I put the dots there. But some people aren't interested at all. They'd rather watch TV, surf the internet, and complain than do something that would help themselves and their family. Now, guys, here's the thing. Because I have the subconscious, the crock brain, exactly where I want it, and the elephant is stampeding towards me with interest, I could say this, but some people aren't interested at all. They'd rather smoke crack, smoke dope, and drink beer than do something that would help themselves and their family. And you know what? I've done it both ways, and the people, it doesn't even register if I say smoke crack. Because they're in their crock brain. The elephant is coming towards you. They're starting to come towards you. You are not chasing their elephant and the sales filter's not up, okay? And what I did is, they don't want to be one of those people that would watch TV, surf the internet, and complain. They're not connecting. They don't want to connect with that group, so I'm working their ego. They're going, that's not me. That's not me. I'm one of the other people. I want to have effort. I want to build a bit. And she's probably thinking, I'm a successful attorney. I make $500,000. How hard could this be, right? See, the subconscious is firing off all these things. She's thinking all these thoughts by this little statement that you just put into her brain. And then all I say is a call to action. May I get you some information on this? May I? See, may I is very, very powerful. We'll talk when we do Crock Brain Selling, the membership site. I'm going to talk to you about why may I is very powerful. But I want to put this all together now, and we're going to read it slowly so you can see how this works, okay? Again, you ask a question until you find a complaint. You're going to do two universally accepted facts that are known to be true related to that complaint. The complaint could be they're spending a ton of money on gas. The complaint could be they haven't saved enough for retirement. The complaint could be they're missing their family. The complaint could be she doesn't want to work. She wants to stay home with her kids, okay? And in that one, you could just say, a lot of people like to stay home with their kids. They really miss them during the day, right? That's universally accepted. Yeah, everybody's going, yeah, I'm a parent. I want to be with my kids. I don't want to be working all the time. So again, you get the idea. So let's read this one now, okay? Well, when I remember her complaint is driving in traffic. Well, you know how people are stuck in traffic and it's frustrating? They don't have a lot of time and they're missing time with their family. And again, I'm just speaking off the top of my head. I'm not even reading this thing. Okay, some people who keep an open mind, who keep an open mind, because she goes, I keep an open mind. I'm not closed-minded, right? See, I'm speaking to her subconscious. Some people who keep an open mind have learned how to make money in their car while sitting in traffic. So eventually they don't have to sit there anymore, in about a year. Most people, when they hear about this, they kind of get excited or curious. But, there's some people that are not interested at all. They would rather watch TV, surf the internet, and complain than do something that would help themselves and their family. May I get you some information on this? You see, I can do that in 15 seconds. I can immediately, powerfully hit all those croc brain synapses, get her interested, have the elephant stampede me, and say, yeah, I'd like to check that out. I'd like some more information. What do you got? Now, here's what's going to happen. They're going to say, this is the big question. And John asked this when we were at John Schwartzer asked this. He goes, well, yeah, but they're going to say, well, what's this all about, right? Remember, you're in a cocktail party. Now, again, don't fall for this one. This is the sucker play where now you puke up and go, well, I'm in king and water and yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden they just go, wah, the elephant runs away and you just lost it, okay? If you don't believe me, do it and see what happens. The person will actually physically remove themselves. Sometimes they turn around and walk away. From you go, asshole. I mean, just it's not, you can't do that. But if you want to play around with it, just go ahead and try it, okay? But the big question they're going to say is, well, what's this about? This is how you handle it. You go, hey, we're in a cocktail party. This is a holiday cheer. It would be okay if we didn't talk business here. It's kind of awkward. Do you have a card? And now, Mary should have a card because she's an attorney. Now, the thing is, you want to make sure, like we've always talked about, when you get the card, look on the card and say, hey, is this your personal cell phone number? Is this your personal email? Don't leave until you've got her personal connection, because if you get the office, you got to get past the gatekeeper. Now, I have some things I can teach you about how to deal with the elephant in the brain for the gatekeeper, but it's harder to do. It's a little more advanced. This is much easier. You're face-to-face with Jane. It's much easier, okay? So do you have a card? And then before you leave, just say, hey, Jane, I know you're a very successful business attorney, and I really admire you. I mean, I wish I could, do something like that. That's a very laudable career. Now, what did I just say? I'm working the ego, right? I'm appreciating her. That's what we want to do. So, what's a good time for us to connect? What's a good day and time? Okay? And then you write it down on the card. Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, Peter, just to kind of create a scenario that makes, or an example is that you're kind of playing hard to get now. You're setting the whole stage, and then when they come in for the, well, what's this all about? Then it's time for you to be kind of coy and play hard to get a little bit, because we all know that person who plays hard to get, that's the one we want even more. We want that information even more now, because so often people do just puke up the information. That's almost what people expect. So make sure that you're playing hard to get, at least to a certain degree. Don't be like, I'm not telling you anything, goodbye, and then walk away and be like, yeah, I did it. No, you didn't do nothing. So make sure you get the card, get the contact information, set something up, but don't give them anything. Don't give them anything while you're there. Okay, hold your ground with that. I'd rather not. I don't want to get into it here. This really isn't the place for us to talk about this in depth. But we can get together outside of outside of this, and again, it's gonna that croc brain's going even more, because now they're creating scenarios in their own head too. You have to understand that, and it's getting more exciting. Why do you think advertisers start? Why do you think Christmas comes in October? That's why. Advertisers aren't stupid. They want to get that. Why? Because everybody loves the holidays. Everybody's excited by the holidays. Everybody wants the holidays to be here. It's an exciting time, and they know that. So it's like before Halloween is even over, they have Christmas stuff up, because they want it in your face as quickly as possible to get you in that spirit, okay? Which we're going to talk about a little bit more in just a few minutes. Okay, back.
Yeah, Jerry's got a good point. They do such a good job that by the time Christmas does arrive, you're depressed and drink too much alcohol because it's like it's a non-event. All right, no, I'm just kidding. All right, so again, you what Jerry said is you remember, you probably heard maybe sometimes your leaders say, hey, feed it to them in shot glasses. Well, this is really what they mean, but with the right skills. I'm teaching you now. And patience in doing this, when you get good at this, and it doesn't take a lot of work, when you get good at it, it is very easy. You can work a room, pick up 3 or 4 contacts, and I guarantee you when Mary's going home with her husband, she's going, I met this guy named Peter, and he was telling me about this thing, and I can get out of my job in a year. I'd love to be home with the kids. She's creating this, and it's larger than life in her mind, okay? Larger than king in life, all right? Because it's not about the water, dudes. It's about the opportunity of what she treasures, right? So that's what we want to go after. All right, now, here's other examples. I'm going to give you, and we're going to read through this quickly because we got to keep moving because Jerry's got some great holiday stuff too. But I want another one. Okay, so let's say I'm at a party again, and somebody goes, "Oh man, my shoulder's been really bugging me." And I go, "Really?" Let's say the guy's name is Jim. I go, "Jim, man, He goes, "Yeah, I played football in high school and college, and I just got messed up, and I got bad arthritis." And I go, "Arthritis is painful. Seems like it never goes away." Right? What is that? Universally accepted. Yep. His crack brain's going, yep, that guy's true. Building the rapport. He gets it. He gets me. Right? I just found out. Now, this is another one. I just found out. See, I just found out. What does that do? That stops the crack brain right in its path. What'd you find out? See, again, the subconscious wants to know, what did you just find out? I just found out how some people with joint pain are getting complete relief from an all-natural drink, completely free to try. You see how powerful? It's like, real? You mean you have something free? Now, what are they going to do? They're going to go, well, tell me more. What's this about? Now, after you go through, and you're going to do this, and you're going to go, most people, when they hear about this, they get excited or curious. But, some people, they'd rather watch TV, surf the internet, and complain. They didn't really do anything to help their arthritis pain go away. See, you do the same thing. Can I get you some information about this? And they go, what is this all about? This is kind of awkward. We're just here talking and having a good time. I just brought it up because I know you had mentioned to me about your arthritis pain. I'll tell you what, why don't I get your information, and let's set up a time and day, and I'll tell you a lot more about it. So, you have a card? Again, see how I did it? You pull back like Jerry said, okay? Another one. Talking to somebody that they're there. Really, people, here's the thing. People want more money, more time to do what they want to do with it, and pay less taxes. I don't care where you are in the world. Everyone wants to pay less taxes, okay? More money, more time, less taxes. So this is a person. Let's say I met Bob, and he was going, man, it just seems like I can never get ahead. Every week the government's taking money out of my paycheck. And so that's the complaint. So then I say, well, the government, yeah, they do. They take a big chunk out of our paycheck every week, right? Universally true? Yep. We're all getting hit by that, right? Secondly, add to that, sales tax and property tax. Now, for all of us Californians, that's even more acute, right? Because we get hit with a lot of taxes here. And even more disappears, right? So now the crock brain's going, man, this guy, yep. Now, okay, what has he got? And, some people who keep an open mind, they found a way to get 100% tax rebate every week. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about a home-based business where they can take tax deductions and get that tax rebate. You see what I'm saying? So, but I put it in a way of $100 tax rebate every week. What are you talking about? Go ahead.
Peter, I just wanted to mention something because as I was listening to you say the arthritis example, I actually caught two things that I wanted to just put a little bit more emphasis on. I just found out, and you said that when you say that, it's like the person, it sparks their curiosity. Now they're intrigued. What did you just find out? I want to illustrate that when a TV is we're watching TV, and all of a sudden there's breaking news, and they throw that on the screen. Breaking news. When that happens, you instantly go, "What's going on? I got to watch this. What's happening? What's going on?" So that's one of the reasons they use that breaking news. Or the this just in, it gets your attention because of that. It's that inside, that deep down stuff. But something that you also said is when you said, the only reason I even brought it up is because you mentioned your arthritis. As soon as you do that, the other person almost feels like they're the one that initiated the request for you to get them this information to begin with. That's why listening is so key. See, far too often in this business, people aren't listening, they're preparing. They're preparing for what they're going to say next. And it doesn't even have to be based on what the person's actually saying to them. They just got their little repertoire that they're going to go go through, and that after they say alkalinity, they're going to jump right into ORP, and once they do ORP, they're going to jump right into microclustering, and it's not going to matter what the other person's response is, it's just the way you're going to do it. But if you're listening, and then you pick something up like that, like the guy says, my arthritis, when you can say, yeah, listen, yeah, I can get you some information, but right here's not really the best place. The only reason I even mentioned it is because you had said something about your arthritis. Now, in that person's mind, literally, they asked you to give you the information that you're going to follow up, and meet with them to discuss. They asked for it. And so it's obviously they're going to be much more open to receiving something that they think they asked for. So I wanted to I don't know if everybody else caught that, but as you were saying it, Peter, I was like, wow, that was pretty good, man. So back to you.
Well, thank you, Jerry. I do come up with a once in a while. So, but again, what Jerry's saying is, again, it's just a little bit. But again, the thing is, guys, is these are basic skills. I'm going to teach you how to do this. I'm giving you just some flavor here. So just write these down and try it out. I'm going to give you the formula of how to work the frame and the igniters, how to do this, how to take, we call it, the other thing we take people is, they're going to go, people who are signing up for your business, there's a whole bunch more stuff to this that we're not sharing today because we don't have time. The people, you're asking someone to go from known to unknown, becoming a business independent distributor. This is what we call hero's journey. Joseph Campbell used to talk about this in his tapes before he died, and I love that guy. He was just hugely smart. Learned a lot from him on that. But there's ways where you can actually get people to present to you when you're not presenting to them. And it's all about the questions you're asking. And all of you guys, how would you like to have someone, I'm not saying do a demo, but how would you like to have someone present to you and tell you exactly why they want to get into your business, instead of you having to sell them on this business? See, it's a whole flip, but it's much more powerful, okay? And there's ways to do that, and we'll teach you how to do that with a set of questions. So let's move on to now, where can you use this? The answer is everywhere. I don't care. Everywhere. If you have, and they're not a walking zombie like we have in The Walking Dead, if they're an actual real life person and they have a brain with a neocortex and a crack brain, you can use it. These little simple things everywhere. Yes. So, Chamber of Commerce, BNI, Main Street, Rotary's Quanta, grocery stores, Lowe's, Home Depot, in the aisle of the water store, or in the water aisle at Albertsons, Vons, Ralph's, whatever grocery store you have, you can go hang out there and be a stalker and talk to their car break. Go ahead, Jerry.
I'm just going to recommend people do not hang out by the porta potties. I'm sorry, but that was just...
I don't know. It depends on how much alcohol they had, Jerry. If they have a lot of alcohol, I can really speak to their crock brain really fast. All right, but it does smell, so it's not highly desirable to go work your business there. All right, health fairs, conferences, meetup.com, Facebook, LinkedIn, it doesn't matter. Anywhere. In fact, I'm going to show you how you can actually do this to have certain emails that you send out in Facebook and LinkedIn or messages to get people to go, tell me a little bit more about this, and I will say I will, but you call me. Okay? Because, again, you're doing, that's called a power frame. Okay? And there's these different frames that you're going to be working with people. Because here's the thing. There's an alpha and beta, like an alpha dog position and a beta dog. You are always the alpha dog. If you are chasing after people calling them, are you in alpha or in beta position? You're in beta. You don't believe me? You ever been to the doctor's office? You are a beta. The doctor is the alpha. What do? You come check in. They go, okay, Mr. Smith, go sit over there. Wait for the doctor. He'll be with you in about 5 hours. Right? So you are beta. And you know how that feels. We don't like to be in beta. We all want to be alpha. Okay, so we'll teach you how to be that alpha person in some of these frames that we talked about. All right. Now, next thing here, quickly we're going to run through this because we're sitting at 2:17. We got to be done right around 3 o'clock. So I want to talk to you, and this is, again, we're going to go through this, but it's very, very important. So we've done the ideal prospect statement. We know who we're going after, the different verticals. I showed you how to prospect and how to talk to the crock brain or the subconscious brain. So it becomes very simple. And you don't have to know all this stuff that you thought you had to know about King and Water and the machine and all this hoopty-doopty garbage, okay? You just go talk to people. If you know what, here's the thing. I'd rather have you learn the crock brain skills and get your upline, your leader, to get on the phone and talk with them, say, well, here's all the stuff. After you got them interest, you strike interest first. Then you can do that other stuff. But all you people that think you have to go, no, everything there is to know about King and Water is garbage. It's hogwash. You have to know this stuff. This is the stuff you got to know. All right. So moving ahead, now we've got these people, we strike interest, and now they want to try the water. So I want to build a relationship and build value. So, but why should I do that? Okay, well, here's the reason. Because you're asking someone to spend $4,000 on a machine. That's a lot of money. That's an investment, right? So you got to build this relationship and this value. I'm going to give you my 5-week system. Now, here's the thing. I want to stress, because I didn't do this last time, and I want to make sure you understand this. Jerry, I use a lot of Jerry's stuff. I like his stuff. It works, okay, for high conversion, like 80% or better, converting people that I talk to over that period of time to get into machine sales, whether they're an end user or business builder, okay? But I will tell you this, when you do this 5-week program, you have to set the stage at the beginning, which means they have to commit to drinking the water, they have to commit to not drinking any soda pop, okay? And you tell them at the very front, look, and you do it conversationally. Again, we speak to the crock brain, always the crock brain. Say, hey, I'm going to be bringing this water to you free of charge. Because you remember, Jim, you asked me about your arthritis pain, and it's really hurting you. And I do this. It's like it's really hurting you, right? You do the body language, right? And so I'm going to bring this water to you. But here's the thing, Jim. After 5 weeks, I am going to, that's your trial period. You should see some results. We'll see what happens. But at the end of 5 weeks, I'm going to give you a machine application, and you can choose to buy a machine or choose not to have the water delivered to you anymore. No sales, no pressure. I'm just letting you know up front kind of how this is going to go. Okay, so that's all I do. But you have to set that expectation, because if you don't, you're going to be a water boy for the rest of your life and be broke. Okay, so you got it. And remember, we've all said we've had experiences where you cut people off of water. Now, here's the thing. We all know this water is like liquid crack. Okay, and it works. And when they get off the water, they feel crummy, and they will come back. A lot of people will come back. So, all right. So we're going to share the water. When you are there, you're building a relationship, or you're talking to them on the phone if you didn't happen to talk to them, or you're texting, but you're building communication and relationship. The education is what's going to build the value. We want to let them drink the water and play with the other waters in their home, because once they see that, the 11.5 is like the Billy Mays OxyClean, and it takes care of grease and stains and everything. And I say, hey, you remember Billy Mays? In America, a lot of people, well, internationally, a lot of people know Billy Mays. The big bearded guy, he passed away, but he used to hawk OxyClean, right? Our water is OxyClean without the chemicals. It's highly oxygenated water, which is what they did in OxyClean, okay? So I put a metaphor to it, so it's something that they remember and recognize, okay? So it's not so foreign to them, like, what is strong alkaline water? What the heck are you talking about? Right? I say, hey, it's like OxyClean. All right, so let's move on. We'll go into now the 5-week program. Number one, I'm going to give them the water. I talked to them about they got the 5 weeks, so they're going to get the drinking water first, and the education piece that I'm going to give them is this health and wellness magazine that Jerry just created, and I'm glad he finally got the dang thing done so that we can all use it, because it's really good. And the reason you can get it there, you see on the screen, it's kinganoneinfo.com. Now, Jerry's got a package deal that he's going to offer to you guys later on here, and he'll talk about it. But I'm telling you guys, here's the thing. If you are a true business builder and not a hobbyist, you're going to invest some amount of money in marketing tools and your methodologies and things like that. You just have to. I mean, if you guys really want to get to mid-6 figures or 7 figures, you can't do this without certain material. So I flat out say this works. I use it. Because Jerry did it, I don't have to create it, recreate it, it's all done. So, and I love it because it's got a lot of stuff about dehydration, about soda pop, pregnancy in women. And again, if you want to know, we won't have time for Jerry to explain why he did it, but he crafts things certain ways. He has a methodology to his madness, and it does work. The other thing I like about this is it's got pictures, like infographics. People can scan, and they quickly, because look, we are a scanning society now. We're not a reading society. We take things in sound bits, video bites. We scan everything, okay? We just have to, because we're not going to survive as a species unless we do that. So he's got good scan ability. So that's what I do week 1. Then week 2, I am bringing them the drinking water, and then I use this health newspaper. This is not Jerry's. This comes from HNIwater.com. These are great. This is story marketing. Again, the crocodile, remember the caveman brain or the cave person brain? What did they do back in the caveman days around the fire? They told stories through grunts and sounds until the neocortex developed, and then they had speech. Okay? Storytelling and story marketing is ancient. It goes way back to the beginning of mankind. This newspaper tells stories from doctors and other people just like them. Remember, ego wants to be self-connected, and they'll say, wow, that person is just like me. They had that arthritis condition. Wow, they had some relief. So maybe that could work for me. Okay? So again, that reinforces why they're drinking the water. It builds that value. Then week 3, I give them the 11.5. And again, remember, talk about it like from what they know. Talk to them. This is just like OxyClean. Remember that Billy Mays guy? They go, oh, yeah. And say, this takes off grease. It takes pesticides off. It'll take stains, blood, chocolate out of your carpet, pet urine. I mean, it does all the same thing, but it's just highly oxygenated water. It's all it is. There's no chemicals like there is in OxyClean. So, again, you're comparing and contrasting, but you're saying our product is better than OxyClean because it doesn't have chemicals. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so this one then, this is Jerry's kitchen guide. The pesticide thing is the real deal maker, okay? When they see, and this brochure talks about it, that they can use this in their own kitchen, they don't have to buy organic vegetables, they can take the pesticides off, all the stuff you guys know that they don't know, and then I give them a gallon, 11.5, along with drinking water, and I say, just try it, put some in the bowl, you'll see the green gooky stuff, and even if it's organic vegetables, you should taste the difference. So do the visual, but also do the taste test. So I tell them, when you're washing your tomatoes or your lettuce, wash some in tap water, wash some in the 11.5, and taste both. See if you can taste the difference, okay? And again, you get this at kinginoneinfo.com. Jerry's got a package deal coming up. All right, week number 4, I'm giving them the drinking water, and then I give them the beauty toner. Now, I don't give them a gallon of beauty toner because I don't want them to bathe in the dang thing. But I give them a little spray bottle of beauty toner, and I give them this balanced beauty thing that Jerry came up with. It's a great little brochure that's has good pictures, very graphic, and it talks about how the water helps, and it does have the other waters in there to help reinforce and educate as well. Okay, and that's another, and I let them play with it. I said, I bring it, put it on your face, put it on your arms, hydrate your skin multiple times a day. Then in week 5, I'm going to give them the 2.5, and I won't give them a gallon. I'll probably give them a half a gallon or so that they can use. And again, I refer back to Jerry's Health and Wellness magazine because he's got the 2.5, the ATS lab charts and things in there that shows from an independent lab how we have proved by documentation that our 2.5 kills bacteria and pathogens like E. coli, Salmonella, Staph, and it's all in the magazine Jerry provided. Now, I'm going to talk to them, and again, that's the other thing at the beginning. You also say, you're going to get 5 weeks. I also want to get you to an educational demo because we have these. This will be a life changer for you. Get them to commit to that 5-week demo up front, or the product demo up front, okay? Now, you got to remember, though, people don't live to go to your demo. They have lives. They have busy schedules. So here's the thing. You're going to want to try to get them to a demo, or what I love, one of our guys in our pod group, Bill Mabry, he's the king of personal demos. He'll do a demo to one person or 2 people. You don't have to do this whole groupie thing. And in fact, a demo is pH drops in a Dasani bottle. I mean, that's a demo. You don't have to get really fancy. But again, do some kind of demo for them during this 5-week period. And then by them playing with the water, what are they doing? They're doing their own demo. You see what I'm saying? And I'll tell you what, them doing their own demo is way more powerful than any demo you're going to do for them. Okay? I don't care if you're Daniel Dimakale himself. Them doing their own demo is going to be more powerful than seeing it from Daniel or Jerry or I or any of you guys that do tons of demos out there. Because, again, they're speaking to their own brain, and they're doing it with their own sensory. They're touching, they're seeing, they're smelling the 2.5. This is all things they're bringing into their brain, that is registering in their synaptic neural network. Okay, guys, remember, this is why this is powerful. We're dealing with one of the most creative gifts of all mankind called our own brain. Okay, now at the end of 5 weeks, what do? I give them the machine app and I say, okay, I'm going to be going up to wherever next week, and so I want to pick up your machine. What would you like to do? Now remember, we're a collector of decisions. Okay, so they're going to come up and say, and there's a myriad of things. They may say, okay, great, or they say, well, the credit's not great, or I can't afford it, and say, well, okay, we got financing. Would you like to go that route? And they'll say, well, how much? And they say, well, it just depends. It's 40 to a couple $100 a month. You'll just have to go through that. But it's private. You get your own data. They'll collect your data and take care of that. Okay, so you get that decision. And I always say, is it okay if I have so-and-so call you from Co-America or from Primerica or from U.S. Bank or wherever you're doing financing? And if they say yes, then you set it up and go. Okay. So that's your week 5. If they say no, I'm not interested anymore, just say, okay, great, but now here's the thing. They went through this whole process. You have earned the right to ask this question. I know this might not be right for you. However, it might be right for people you care about who may have health issues. Do you know of anyone that you think might be a good person to share this water with? Now, you should also have done that in what Jerry calls anchoring during the 5 weeks. However, if you have forgotten, don't forget before you leave, okay? And again, by them stopping the water, remember, liquid crack, give them a couple weeks, there's a good chance they're going to come back. All right, so Jerry, do you want to talk about your one-click savings deal here? You know about it better than I do. All I'm going to say, guys, is I use this stuff. I bought it from Jerry.
All right, so yeah, this is actually inspired by Peter because he came up with the 5-week delivery system, and of the 5 weeks, 3 of those weeks included, actually 4 of those weeks included items that I created. And so as a result of that, what I did is I created this little package deal that, so if people just need these, because obviously, people use some of the other stuff that I've created as well, but if you're utilizing these specific items for your delivery system and you just need these, you can actually go onto the website and literally with one click, it's a package. So you don't have to go find the health and wellness guides and you don't have to find this and find that. By clicking that, what it does is it's a package of 25 of the health and wellness, 25 of the balanced beauty, and 25 of the kitchen innovations. It creates it as one package. It's at a discounted rate. And all you have to do is click that, buy it, boom, it's done. It'll get shipped over to you. So I did it for just convenience sake more than anything else. So and again, it was specifically, Peter, as a result of the system, this 5-week system that you helped kind of like create and hone. That's the reason that I created this to make getting these even easier for people. So that's what that is.
Great, thanks, Jerry. And again, guys, just go back to, remember the beginning of our webinar here. You got to think of yourself like McDonald's and Starbucks. You're a business builder. You got to develop systems that are repeatable, that you can do without having to think about it. Because remember, we all operate from the crock brain and we're lazy. But it's easy to teach your people. Just say, here's your 5-week system. Just do this. Okay? Then they don't have to figure this stuff out. Because that's the problem is, the lack of sales usually is they don't have the skills or they're confused out of their gourd. Okay? And a lot of you people probably have had that experience where people in your team, they're confused and so they do nothing because they are confused. So take the confusion away. Make it simple for them. Okay? All right. Focus on the education, building the skills and the crock brain selling and things like that. That's really where you want to educate and get them the daily aid, get them in the pod. Teach them these skills, get them in these systems. The rest is, will work itself out, and you'll get the high conversion rates. All right. Now we're going to talk about, I'm going to have Jerry take over here. He's going to talk about building your business during the holidays. I love that little picture, Jerry, you did with the ribbon. That's really cool. But he's going to tell you about some of the things he's done in the past and how that's been successful. Go ahead and take that one away there, Jerry.
All righty, Peter, thank you very much. So let's jump right into building your business during the holidays. Now, obviously, this is going to be something that's pertinent right now. Why? Because next week is Thanksgiving, and it's going to take us into a bunch of right after Thanksgiving. We all know it's going to be party after party after gathering after gathering. So the question becomes, for you, when you think about the holidays with our business, are the holidays, do they represent good months or bad months? You know, are they productive months? Are they slow months? Are they the best months or are they the worst months? And that's a question that the individual has to actually answer, because indirect sales, it really does depend. And what it depends on is it depends on you. It depends on how you see it, how you were trained to see it, and really what you were conditioned to believe. You know, whether or not the holidays are a fantastic opportunity for you or are a miserable disappointment to you. It's really about how you have been geared to look at it, okay? So here's what I want everybody to understand. In my opinion, in this business, the holidays are the best months. As a matter of fact, I've been in this thing for over 6 years. My very best month, single month of 6 years, was a December, okay? So I know for a fact it works. So let's address some of the reasons why it works, okay? What you have to understand is that when you're going into the holidays, things are a little bit different than normal, okay? Than your normal January through October. When you go into the holidays, you are socializing much more. You are seeing people much more. You're being much more active. I think everybody would agree. There's probably about 2 weeks in December, you probably do more shopping than you did the entire rest of the year combined. Going to the mall and doing all that stuff, you've got those couple of weeks of this intensive stuff. Exactly. It's it can be overwhelming. But if you're going to be doing it, why not maximize that? Why not use it to your advantage? Okay? So the holidays are when you're going to have the most warm market contacts. That's when you're going to be seeing your family and friends more so than you probably normally do. Okay? You're also going to probably have the most new market exposures. Access to people that you know aren't in your regular mix, okay? The other thing about the holidays is I think most people find in general, I mean, sometimes there are a Scrooge or two out there to where this is not, they're the exception, not the rule. But for the most part, the holidays bring out the best in people. You know, people are nicer, they're friendlier. In some cases, they're even more open-minded because they're drunk. No, that's not why they're open-minded, but they have let loose a little bit. You have to remember, when you're letting loose a little bit, your crock brain's a little more open for some discussion. It's like, hey man, I'm feeling pretty good. So yeah, what do you got here? What do you got? Okay. You also have to remember that as we're going toward the end of the year, see, everybody's year is different, but for the most part, when you're going toward the end of any year, people are looking to the next year with hope. With you know, a new beginning. Always. I don't care if 2013 could have been the best year you've ever had ever. What you're thinking is, wow, I bet 2014 will be even better. That's just the way people think. Okay? So, and if it was the worst year, then what do you say? Well, I'm glad this year's almost over, because it can only get better. So no matter what, 2014 represents something better for most people, okay? Now, because of that, it creates an opportunity for us to really, you know, do something special, okay? Because you have to remember, people get in a certain spirit. They get in a certain vibe, okay? They're in that spirit of giving. They're in the spirit of spending. I mean, I want to make sure people understand that. During the holidays, people are much more lax with that credit card. You know, they're in the spirit of helping, of caring. They get in the spirit of the season, okay? It's the time of the year. Like I said, a lot of times it brings out the best in people, okay? Also, that spirit of change. You're looking toward the new year. You're looking at things you want to do differently. If there were areas for improvement, this could be that opportunity for you, okay? And what I want to ask you guys is, can you think of any better gift than good health? If you could provide a gift to someone that will carry them into 2014 and create a change in their life, could you think of a better gift than the gift of good health? Because I really can't. And I know there's a lot of people out there that need that gift. And so we're going to have the opportunity to share that with them. And potentially, you got to remember too, the next 2 months, November and December, they are going to set the stage for your January, February, or March of 2014. So which would you rather do? Take the next 2 months off and have it be, you know, January 1, it's time to start rolling? Or would you like to hit it hard so when January 1 comes, you already have momentum? Your group is already going. You have people that are already making sales. You have people that are already drinking the water so that as the beginning of the year happens, maybe they'll do those sales. maybe they'll get it going. Now, some of the things that what you can do, actual action items to use during the holidays, is double your efforts. Whatever your efforts have been, increase them. Okay? Increase them. Force yourself. Okay? The thing that you have to understand about success is success does not come easy. Okay? Look, winning the lottery is not success. It was luck. That's not success. Okay? It's not. So if you want success, there's effort involved there. And so you need to, if you double those efforts, a lot of times your success, it's exponential. Okay? Maximize the gatherings and parties that you're going to go to. That's one of the things in the free download you're going to get. It actually highlights some of the things and some of the ways that you can be prepared in order to maximize these gatherings and parties you're going to go to. Host a party or a get-together. You be the host. Now, one of the things I want to caution you against, like Peter said, don't do this. Hi, welcome. Water, 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 water. Water, 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 water. Okay, don't do that, because just because the water is something that's so impassioned and so important to you doesn't mean it is to everybody else. So act like a human that has, diversity of interest and talk about other things. Of course, the water is going to be important. You know how you make that important is if you're going to host a party, you make your punch with our water. You make your coffee with our water. You make the soup that you're going to serve with the little dinner with our water. You clean all your fruits and vegetables with the dipping platter with our 11.5. You basically create a way to share it without shoving it down their throats. But actually, you are going to shove it down their throat if it's vegetables, I guess. But you know what I'm saying. So it's not all about you giving people information all the time that's going to have the biggest impact. Well, I'm telling you, when a person picks something up and they eat it and they go, wow, this is delicious. If you can say, oh, that's one of the things I've cooked with, and I created this little recipe using the water that I've told you guys about. All of a sudden they look at it, it's not water anymore. Now it's a piece of delicious food. Wow, that's awesome. Okay? Also, you want to talk. And when you're talking to people, realize some of the things. Listen to what they're saying, but understand, like I said, the gift of health has got to be one of the best gifts you could give somebody. But you also have to remember, there's a tax deduction available because of the home-based business. Let me tell you something that's interesting. The way Enagic has it set up is you could buy your machine on December 31st, whatever the last day of December is, okay? If the company was open, obviously they're not. I'm just using this for a hypothetical. But you could buy your machine the last day of this year, and you could write the entire machine off for 2013, for your taxes of 2013. It doesn't have to spill over to 2014, and you don't have to amateurize it. That's up to you, okay? But, understand that that's something that can be beneficial. There's some people that are looking towards the end of the year, and they're like, I need some more tax deductions. And so this could be something that they could use. Also, you're going to collect the contact information for the people that you're getting together with people, and maybe you're not going to follow up with them until after the first of the year because their schedules are so busy, yours are so busy, the holidays can get crazy. But collect those cards and do those recontacts, do those, those meetings and everything after the first of the year, because there's going to be some people that's what you're going to have to do, okay? And one of the other things I'm going to throw out there, because I think this is something that people miss the ability to take advantage of this because they simply don't know, they didn't think of it, okay? If you're going to be giving gifts to people, okay, give something that it has a year-long reminder for the recipient, okay? And I'm going to be talking specifically about token gifts. So let me explain what I mean by that. You guys all know what I mean by a token gift. A token gift is a gift that you give for somebody who they matter to you, but they're not in your super close circle, okay? This isn't the person that you're going to spend $50, $100, a couple $100 on their gift. But it's somebody that you'll spend $5, $10, maybe $20 on because you want to show them that they do matter to you. That you are important to them. That's why it's called a token gift. It's a token of either my esteem or my affection or my appreciation to just let you know I was thinking of you. Now, these are kind of the list of the people that usually applies to. Casual friends, your coworkers, acquaintances, some of your business contacts, definitely your prospects, and even your own distributors that are within your team. Okay, some of them might not be really close, but they definitely are people that you should be caring about and that should matter. Now, I want you to look off to the right, because those are some of those classic token gifts, right? Because nothing says I appreciate you more than cheese that's been sitting in a box for 6 months, right? Or chocolates that are going to help you gain those unwanted pounds during the holiday. Or, the bottle of wine. How many people have done this? The gift that says, I think you're an alcoholic. There's nothing better than that, right? Or the pen set, the cross pen set that you got on sale for $9.99 that's going to run out the third time that you actually try to use it. Nothing better than that. And then, of course, there's always that old standby, the gift set of soap. Nothing says, I think you smell more than a gift set of soap, okay? So stay away from those things and realize, this is what you have to realize about each one of these different things, okay? These gifts, while they might actually be nice because you thought about the person, they lack staying power. They are soon going to be forgotten, okay? So, if you're going to get some token gifts for people, why not get some things that are going to last throughout the year, okay? We're in the water business. How many gallons have you given people but never gave them a personal drinking bottle? I want to ask you that. Of all the people that are on here, ask yourself that question. Wow, I'm giving people all these gallons of water. I never thought to make sure they have something to take it around with them. Because if you think people are going to carry around a gallon jug of water with them everywhere, like into their job, they are not going to. So if you want to have a greater likelihood of that person really gravitating to what you're doing, why not get them one of those great bottles? I talked to Kangen Legacy, and they're actually running a super deal that when we end this thing and you guys are transferred over to the links page, there's actually a link from Kangen Legacy that if you click into that, they've done a deal just for us, just for the people that are on here, okay, to get their bottles. So that's an option. One of the things I did, look, I'm quirky in some of my stuff, okay? I created a Kangen coffee cup. I created an actual logo that's on an 11-ounce coffee cup. And do we know, coffee's not good for us, blah, blah, blah. But if you're going to drink coffee, you might as well drink Kangen coffee, right? So if you know people that drink coffee, can you think of a better gift to give them than a coffee cup that has your company's name in their face every morning, 365 days of the year? I can't think of something better than that. The next thing over there that you might be going, what is that? It's actually a calendar. Let me tell you about this a little bit because this is actually kind of interesting. My wife, love her to death, Susan, she is actually an amateur photographer. And one of the things that the Enagic business has availed us to be able to enjoy is the ability to go out into our backyard and enjoy like an hour before we start doing our stuff, to just sit, soak up the nature. We don't live in like the boonies or something, so it's not like there's mountains and there's deer coming in the backyard. We live in Laguna Niguel. I mean, it's just we live in Orange County. But for whatever reason, our yard has a great consolidation of wildlife. And so Susan, for the past 4 years since we've been living here, goes out there and takes all these pictures. Well, she literally has thousands of pictures that she's taken. And she was showing me a couple of them, and I said, God, honey, you have some pictures in here that they're like the kind of stuff you could see on a calendar. And then I thought, well, why not? Why not see them in a calendar? It's the Enagic business that made this thing, able for us to kind of have this available to us anyway. So I said, let's make a calendar. And not only let's make a calendar, let's make a story behind it. Let's let people know that the reason this thing was able to happen was because of the business that we're a part of. And I said, and on top of that, let's take each one of the months and let's actually put some of the Enagic related information. So on each one of the months in the bottom right-hand corner, the Enagic, company information with their corporate address in Torrance, the phone number, the website address, the Kangen One team information, all of it's right there for reference on every single one of the month pages. In each month, it has the Kangen One team meeting, global meeting, the date for that. It's got the executive luncheons here in Orange County. It also has on each month, in the history of Enagic section, that talks about achievement of the company, how they expanded around the world. Now let me ask you something. If you gave something like that to a person, has anyone ever given a person a calendar as kind of a token gift for the next year? Well, what if you gave a calendar that actually had your company's information in that person's face every single day? Plus, the pictures, I'm going to tell you this right now. The pictures that my wife captured are phenomenal. You will not believe, if you saw the camera that she used, you will go, this is impossible. There's no way that these pictures came from that camera. I mean, it actually really is amazing, and I can't say enough about, what the job that she did with that. But we created this so that the Enagic reps have a way to share this information, and it's one of those, it's kind of sneaky. It's really what it is. It's a sneaky way to get your information in the hands of somebody. You're giving them a gift. They're going to put this calendar up there, and then all of a sudden the Enagic name and information is in front of them every day for a year. That's going to make it a lot easier for you to achieve what you're looking for. And then you've got some of the different books. This is another, like Peter. Peter's a big reader, man. He reads like 150 books a year. Okay, I'm trying to write 150 books a year. So it's but Peter reads 150 plus books a year. If you've got people that are readers, then take advantage of that. Get them something like the Killing Cancer, Not People, book. It's phenomenal. There's all sorts of different books out there. Also, the Daily 8 Planner. If you've got your people that you are, especially your distributors, get them a Daily 8 and give that to them as a gift. Get them focused, because you know what? Giving the Daily 8 as a gift to somebody else is the biggest gift you can give yourself, because you're now going to get them focused in on their business, and if they're one of your distributors, you get overrides from that. So basically, these are gifts that give back to you. Typically, you don't have that at your disposal. That's why it's important to do that. You want to get them something that's related to your business and lasting, because those gifts, they're going to keep you in the mind of the recipient all year long. That's obviously what you want, because the more you're in their minds, the more you're ingrained in that subconscious aspect, the stronger it's going to work for you. Okay? Now, this is what you guys are going to get. Okay? I want to make sure that's why it's important that you stay on to the end. You're going to get the free bonus download. It's a 3-page tips for the holiday business building, and it goes into some of the stuff I was saying in very, very deep detail. That's why it's three written pages. And if you notice, there's no pictures in this one. This is great information that's going to help you. Okay? So what you have to understand is that if you make them the best months, the holidays are the best months. Okay? And I want everybody to use these next couple of months to get everything that you're going to need to explode your 2014 and have a level of success for 2014 that you can't even imagine. That's what we're shooting for, okay? So with that, I'm going to throw it back over to Peter, and he's going to talk to you about our accountability with using the Daily 8 pods and the Daily 8. Okay, Peter?
Great, thank you, Jerry. You gave me some ideas for some holiday gifts. I love it, man. So we'll be talking. All right, we're going to keep moving here, just to try to stay on time track. Now, again, just to quickly recap, Jerry gave you some specifics of what you can do with the holidays and some of the gifts and places to go, along with, some of the skills now you're learning, some of the initial skills. You can kind of do baby steps with the croc brain and how to speak to them, where you can prospect, and then your ideal prospect statements. Now we're moving to step 3 now, which is you need to create it. You have your daily method of operation. That's the Daily 8 Planner. Okay, and now you're going to prospect, and you're going to use the holiday times as a really good time to prospect. Okay, and keep in people's minds through these gifts all year long. I love that. Step 3 now is we want to create accountability to build your team. And the reason why I want to do this, guys, is I learned a long time ago from running large divisions in corporations and in small businesses. There's 2 things, and I tell people this when they start their pods. If you're going to get something done, or you want your team to get something done, 2 things have to exist. Okay, number 1, what gets measured gets done. And number 2, what is stated publicly as an accountability gets done. The reason why is, I don't care where you come from in the world. You've all gone to school. You've all had to turn in homework to your teacher. You had to be publicly accountable to turn your homework in. As an example, if you didn't, the teacher's going to call you out, okay? And as a student, you didn't like to get called out. And some teachers are pretty brutal about that, at least in my past. So anyway, the thing about it is we already have this behaviorally ingrained, is we want to be, when we are public in our accountability, we're going to do what we need to do to make that happen, okay? So here's how we create our accountability team. We have this weekly system, and we do it every week, because here's the thing. Again, we're business builders. It's consistency. So if you take 2 weeks of vacation off a year, let's just say 4, You have 52 weeks in the year, means you're going to have 48 weeks of getting something done to build your business and be accountable. That's a lot of weeks that you can do some very significant things to grow your business and help the people who you're setting in your sales group grow their businesses as well. So what we do is I created this. That was the second thing is we had to create a weekly pod call. Now, pod stands for, actually I think Jerry came up with the pod piece, and I love it. So good job, Jerry. POD stands for Personal Outcome Directives. These are your personal outcomes that you're going to want to get done. And here's the thing. The reason why, I'll just a second, Jerry, let me finish up.
I just got to say, actually, it was Susan. Susan's the one who came up with that. I can't take credit for that, so I just had to
Susan did. Okay. Thank you, Susan. Appreciate it. So the thing about it is, guys, here's the deal. The way our compensation system works is this. You know you need to sell one machine every 90 days as a minimum, or 4 times a year, so you get your full compensation and you get the compensation from your sales group, okay? So you have to stay on task. More importantly, you need to stay on task and be personally accountable, because here's the thing, you're a leader in your team. If you don't do what you're asking your people to do, good luck in trying to get them to do it. This is why we all work every week. We're in the trenches. We make things happen because I'm doing exactly the same thing as I'm asking all my team members to do. And they know I'm doing it because I go out with them sometimes and I do stuff with them. Okay, so again, we have this weekly pod call and we get on every week and we grow our businesses together. But again, it also is a place for all your people in whatever you call a downline or sales group. It is a place for them to grow their business and be accountable in a pod to grow their business as well. Okay? So here's how this works. It's on page 21 of the Daily 8 Planner. It is a 4-point system. The first thing that we do is what's called weekly cash out. Now, again, guys, there's a lot of ideas out there that we did not create, and I say we as in all of us in general. There's a lot of things we just steal from or we borrow ideas because they're great ideas. I got the weekly cash out from Darren Hardy, who is the publisher of Success Magazine, who wrote a book called The Compound Effect. Now, Jerry said I'm a big reader. I read that book. It's one of the best books ever. You should read it if you haven't read it. But he talks about your daily and weekly cash out in there. So basically what we're doing is we're going through and we are adding up all of our points from the Daily 8 and we're reporting on the number of points per week. So it may be, okay, I earned 188 points this week. Then we state the number of people we're delivering water with, the number of new prospects we picked up that week, and the number of machines we sold. The only thing we're adding is our action item, our accountability statement after the number of machines. So it goes like this. It's all round robin. Okay, so I'm going to report, this Peter with the Sauce, my weekly cash out is I got 188 points this week. I'm delivering water with 12 people. I picked up 2 new prospects. I sold 1 machine. And I said I was going to go visit 5 salons last week, and I visited 5 salons. That's weekly cash out. Boom, done. On to the next. Okay? So we don't get into excuse making or, well, I got these points and here's all, again, we have to get through these calls in 40. If you're on our pod calls, we get done in 40 to 60 minutes with our 9 or 10 people. Okay? The next one is positive story of the week. So this is something that every person is going to round robin. Talks about how you help the health of someone, or you have a funny story, or you tried a marketing tip and it worked for you from something maybe you learned from Jerry and I, or someone else that you wanted to give a try. Could be the salon marketing, could be something. It's like, wow, this worked. I picked up a salon. I just want to share it with the group. This is what I did. The third is the learning or the new teaching point. Okay, now this is something, a new tip or technique or skill related to networking, selling, prospecting, referral, or marketing. Now, here's the thing. I get all you guys are not from the same background maybe Jerry and I are, okay? That's okay. So, big sigh of relief here. This week, I'm going to be launching, it's daily8book.com/teaching point. It is a free website for people who are using the Daily 8 and the weekly pod call. You can go there, and we are recording a whole bunch of these teaching points that you can then play for your group, or you can listen to it and then paraphrase it, and you could be the expert in your group as the team facilitator, team leader. But again, that website's free of charge for those that use the Daily 8 Planner and the weekly pod. You just go there, pick one, If you want to do your own, that's great, but I know it's hard to come up with something new every week. And if you don't have a background in this stuff, it's even harder, okay? So make sure you go. I'll have that launched. And again, write this down. If you want to be part of the launch email, you want to send me an email to daily8, daily the number 8 pod, P-O-D, daily8pod at gmail.com, okay? And you can get on the list, and I'll make sure that when I launch the site, you'll be able to get access to it, okay? So here's how you get started on all of this, okay? Number one is you need to get a Daily 8 planner, okay? That is from daily8book.com. You see it right there. Go to daily8book.com. You can order a single copy, 5, 10, 15, 25. There are volume discounts. So if you're gonna get one for yourself, or you're gonna start a pod, what I'd say is get your people together and order at least 5 or at least 10, because you're gonna get a significant price break discount, okay? And you're gonna be using this book anyway throughout the year to run your weekly pod, okay? So go to daily8book.com. You got Jerry's stuff in the 5-week building. He gave you that one click, and that's coming up after this is over, because we're going to be wrapping this up here in the next couple minutes, okay? But you'll have that to build your value. So you're getting these systems and procedures that really will help you build your business, all right? Now, the next thing is to set up your Daily 8 pod. Now, I have helped a lot of people all over the world already set their pods up, and I will do this for you to get you started, because, guys, this is like Apple, when Guy Kawasaki and Steve Jobs were there, and they were creating an evangelistic movement with the Mac. We're doing the same thing here in growing up the Enagic business and all of your businesses, and we have to do this grassroots. This is not part of Enagic. This is not endorsed by Enagic. This is our stuff as business builders and distributors, okay? So if you want to start a Daily 8 pod, send me that on that email, daily8pod at gmail. Let me know you want to start one. I will contact you. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. I just helped some people from New Zealand and Australia. Kelly's group out there with Taylor and all those guys are great people. There's some people from Melbourne and Brisbane, I think, that were on the call last night. But again, wherever you are in the world, we can get you started on Skype. We can get you going on a phone call. I will help sit down on your first one and help you facilitate it to run through, so you get it started so it's easy for you, okay? So daily8pod at gmail.com. Now, here's some very important announcements. Jerry said don't log off. So, Jerry, do you want to take over on this one? Okay.
All right, you guys. So here's some very important announcements. So again, I told you everybody that's here is going to be getting this free bonus download, the 3-page tip. I want to explain how you're going to get it, okay? So please pay attention for the next couple of minutes. When this is over, and Peter and I both say, thank you for being here. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you at the top, okay? When we get done with our thing, this whole system will automatically go to another page, okay? You're going to go to a page that looks just like this. It's going to say special links exclusively for today's training. Each one of these links will direct you to the different locations and the different special offers that are actually out there for you guys by the different people. But here's what's going to happen. This one right there, the one that says Powerful H2O Marketing Materials and Free Download Link. You're going to want to click on that one, and it'll take you. Now, it opens up a new page, so you're not going to have to worry about losing the page you're on, okay? It'll take you to a new page. At the top of that, it's going to say, click here for your free download of the tips link, okay? That's what you're going to click, and it's going to give you the ability to download that. So that's where that's going to be, all right? So again, once we end, make sure you click on that one to access that free file, okay? You're going to be able to have access to discounted materials. You know, Peter's got his stuff there, this stuff from Kangen Legacy. There's actually also a link for the Killing Cancer Not People book. I talked to them, and you know, they are happy to oblige and make sure that people have access to that. And it's a great book. You know, he's really done a lot for this program. So, you know, make sure that we're supporting his efforts as well. This one, very special notice, okay? Ride the Wave had been out of stock for like the last 2 months. We have them back in stock again. Unfortunately, it's in a limited quantity, but we do have them back in stock. So this is going to be one of the things that will be available at a discounted rate at the Powerful H2O site. So if you want to get copies of the third edition of Ride the Wave, There are some available right now, okay? Now, just in case, like all the people that are at Lars's place right now, and for all the other people that are at a location where you're a bunch of people and you're not going to be able to just run to your computer and after this thing transfers over, here's what I want you to do. Write this down. On the Kangen1info.com website, you are going to be able to go there for the next 48 hours, and from the site, there's a secret hidden link just for you. If you notice over on the left-hand side of this screen capture, there's a little 2013. Well, right now, the 0 is a smiley face. Well, smile, because that smile means discounts, okay? That smile will actually direct you to that links page so you can get access to each one of those different links. So if you are not going to be able to go right to this after this is over in just a couple more minutes, this is how you're going to be able to access those special deals that were created just for you, okay? So again, the team website, Kangen1info.com, and then click on that little smiley face in the 2013 year, and that'll take you there, okay? All right, one of the last announcements that I want to talk to you guys about is on this upcoming Monday, November 18th, at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I want you to write this down, too. We are doing a special distributor conference call. I'm doing it in conjunction with Eli and Jelena Dafesh, and we're going to be talking about, it's basically a project update and important information call. There's a lot of things that have been happening in 2013 that we need to address and we need to cover and we as distributors need to know, okay? And so that's what this call is going to be about. So again, 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time this Monday, November 18th. The telephone number is, write this down, 212-990-8000. Now the code when prompted is 0808 and then the pound sign. Okay, one more time, 212-990-8000 and the code 0808 pound. Get yourself on this call, get all of your team members on this call. We're going to be covering some information that you are going to be happy to receive, and it's better that you get the information fresh than waiting for it to find its way to you if you don't make it to this call, okay? So it's very important that you attend this call. All right, and with that, I'm going to throw this back to Peter. Peter's going to talk a little bit more about this, and then we're going to be wrapping this thing up. So just a couple more minutes, folks.
All right, thanks, Jerry. Guys, I just wanted to, we talked about this whole crock brain selling and what's happening. I'm actively putting together a membership site. It will be affordable. You don't have to worry about it, but these tools will actually work. I gave you a little taste. Go out and use these things, and you're going to see how effective they are at totally changing your business world. There's going to be more in there talking about power frames, the brain science, how to speak to the croc brain, how to use these igniters, how to get people not just in the strike interest, but the whole realm of the question process to get them through to say, yes, I want to become part of your team as a business builder. They will present to you how to help them start and get into cash in their business right away. Because that's what really people want. They're not so concerned about goals or all out massive action. What they want is they want money in their bank account. And so I'm going to teach you how to do that, how to take them on this known to unknown hero's journey to get them to be a business builder. And guys, here's the thing. If you could just increase the number of business builders on your team by 2, imagine what that would do to your business. Dramatic. Okay? So again, this will be coming up in January sometime. If you want to get on the list, again, for the crock brain selling, so that when I do launch it, you have first access to it. I may even run a special for 48 hours for those people that want to jump in right away. Go to daily8pod, daily the number 8pod, P-O-D, @gmail.com. Put in the subject line, crock brain selling, and I'll put you on that list so that you can jump in there when we do launch that. So again, daily8pod, P-O-D, @gmail.com. I'll get you on the list. We'll probably have a special introductory price to get started to get those people that really want to jump in and dramatically build their business rapidly using some of these skills and how to speak to that subconscious mind and bring that elephant to you. All right, with that, Jerry, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say one last thing, which I always do, guys. we have a quote on the back. Inside the Daily 8 Planner, there's a Think, Focus, Act. But I love this quote. I always put this on the back of my Daily 8 Planners for all you guys, and that is, guys, I want to leave you with this point. All these things, remember, it's about skills, effort, and accountability. And it's all summed up in this quote. If you don't build your own dream, someone will hire you to build theirs. That's called the job. We're not people in jobs. We want to build our own business and create our own financial destiny. So thank you guys for being on this call. I really appreciate it. And it's always been an honor to speak to everybody out there across the world. So, Gerald, I'll leave it back to you.
Peter, thank you very much. As always, that was fantastic. I hope everybody really enjoyed today's training. We will, toward into December, we'll start letting out the schedule for our 2014 online trainings. We hope everybody has enjoyed this. We, of course, hope that you do have a very happy holiday season. We hope everybody's safe and that you maximize the next couple of months and really use them to build your business and to just explode into 2014. And we hope that 2014 ends up being your absolute best year ever. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and transfer you over to that links page. Thank you again for being here today. We appreciate you taking the time to be serious about your business and do the things necessary to really make a difference in the lives of you, your family, your loved ones, the people that you care most about. So just remember, keep on sharing and keep on doing the deal. All right? Thank you very much, everybody. Have a fantastic holiday season, and we will see you soon. Stand by. You're going to be transferred.